Yeah, tell me. Yeah. Mm.
So whenever we start the Spark streaming job, it will read record by record or it will read in the batches, how it will operate.
See, the entire data frame is given as a batch. Okay, so it's not reading record by record. Okay, so suppose if I'm giving an entire JSON data, right? So, like when I have read the file, right? So entire file is given as a in a there is a batch interval time, right? So 1 second batch is there or 30 seconds. Suppose number of records are more, right, which is not consumed in that batch. So that will go to the next batch. Okay. So there is a batch interval time is there and sliding window time is there, right? So batch interval time is defining like in particular batch how many records can come. So other will come in the sliding window, right? Next batch, right? So if I say 10-second batch and 30-second sliding window, so that will be divided into the 10-10-second batch. Okay. So, but in the batch itself is also the group of record is coming as a data frame. If we are using a structured streaming, right? So the data frame entire group of records will be given in a one batch. Okay. So you are able to see whenever we are getting the record, so we are getting an entire data frame kind, right? Like in the tabular representation, right? As a data frame, right? Okay. So we don't need to do the show function because it will be keep coming. So that is the reason you cannot do data frame dot show in the streaming data frame. Okay. Because streaming data frame, we have to start streaming once, and once the streaming is started, like my streaming is started the await for termination, right? So once I start the my streaming, so it will be automatically pick up the so every 1 second the batch will be running, even the data is not coming, but batch will be waiting. Okay, so whenever the data is pushed to the Kafka topic, then Spark consumer will pull up the data. Okay, so that's or even you are not giving any data, but the batch will keep running. Okay, because it is a 1 1 second or 10 10 second batch, right? So it will be keep running. Okay, but whenever the data is arrived in the Kafka topic, right? Suppose the data is pushed, right? Okay, any point of time, so then data will be pulled up by the Spark consumer. Okay, so that way is done.
Oh, maybe if there are 10 records in each batch, will there be any chance of partial processing? Like after processing 5 records,
Mhm.
my consumer is down, then how will it
So this will
reread
be,
those records?
see, whatever is consumed once and while processing it's failing, that's a different thing. Two things are there. One is like entire batch is not consumed by the Spark and the server down. So then there is a checkpointing is there. The checkpointing is taking care of that part. Okay. But this
Okay.
part, right, you are saying, okay, already 10 record is there, so that job is got failure. Okay. So it depends, right? What type of like streaming, structured streaming we are using. So in that case, it will manage, right? Because it is a asynchronous one, right? So if you are saying like when we start the job again, so will it process from the same, right? You are asking?
Yes, this out of 10 records, if the 5 records are processed, will it reprocess those 5 records because it
See,
is
Spark
done?
is always like maintaining the DAG, right? So that is
Mm.
the fault tolerance, right? Spark is right. So if in the any map reduce or we cannot say because there is a the job start from the scratch, okay? But here is a
Okay.
DAG, right? So once 10 records come in the DAG, right? Even though 5 is processed, right? But those 5 is in the DAG, right? It maintained, okay? But
Okay.
if I'm saying like my 5 10 records are not received before that my server or like my job got failed. Okay, in that case the checkpointing is there. Okay, so two
Okay.
cases, right? Whether your data processing in the middle, right? So the something happened, or you are not able to receive the data. Okay, if you are not able to receive the data, there is a checkpointing you have to do, otherwise it will not be handled, right? Okay, because while Spark is start processing, so that will be part of the DAG, right? Okay, so that will be maintained, the right. So Spark is a distributed processing and fault tolerant, right? So that is the reason, right? Spark is a resilient, right? Resilient distributed data set, RDDs. So on top of the RDD, they are data frame, right? Data frame is an extension of RDD. Okay. So that's the reason it will be maintained. Okay.
Arvind,
Mm.
could you post yesterday's session? Like,
Actually, yesterday I'm checking because it recorded or not recorded. I'm checking. Okay.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. And otherwise, now you have the other classrooms links. Okay. Spark streaming session. Okay. I know I have recorded, I remember, but I'll make sure, right? But I'm not able to find. So it's not uploaded, but you can follow this batch on big data training here also streaming session. Okay. Uh, See, overall, like same thing I have taught. Okay, some maybe right. I have like, but examples are same because I'm taking always the same examples. So if you see here the Spark, yesterday we did the streaming session, right? Okay, so Spark Kafka streaming, right? So Spark Kafka streaming. I think Classroom is better to go there. Those GitHub links I have already explained because I remember, right, I have explained in one batch. Okay, so if I even not getting a recording, but I'm saying you can follow Spark streaming session. Check this recording. Okay, this is I explained. So this is a stateless, stateful, and that GitHub link I post also. Streaming this one, Prashant Kumar Pandey. This is the, you can download from here. Okay, this one you can see this recording. Okay. I'll see that your one, but if I don't find, but you can follow. Okay. Uh, okay, so next is a nifi. Okay, so I'm going to tell about nifi. So first I give the brief overview of nifi. Okay. So nifi. So this is the ingestion tool, but drag and drop, right? It is drag and drop ingestion tool. Basically, it's designed for the ETL pipeline. Okay. So what is nifi? First, I explain to you. So nifi or any people, like different people, different what they say. Okay. So so nifi is ETL pipeline ingestion tool. ETL pipeline ingestion tool. It is drag and drop. It has the UI drag and drop. Okay. So when you nifi, install nifi on your Ubuntu. Okay. So you have to start the server of the nifi by using the some shell script. And once after starting, so you will see it will be running on some port. It will be running, and you will get a UI. Okay. So it is having a canvas. Okay, it has the canvas, and you can drop the drop the component. Okay, so nifi works on the source component. Okay, and then we have to connect the target component with the processor. So processors are right like controller or actions. Okay, so processor is action. So some processor names I tell you. The processor is like one is a get file processor. So get file processor is reading file from the some source location, reading file from source location. Okay. Same like another processor is put file processor. So put file processor, there are around 150 processors are there. Okay. So it's writing file to target location. So some directory location we need to specify directory location, okay, as a property, directory location as properties, as property, we need to mention, right? Then it will be start writing the files, okay? So it's like a ingestion tool. So once you drag and drop these component, right, like processors, and then you can link it, right? So one processor is reading file and another process is writing file. So suppose you want to say, I want to copy the file from the one source location to target location. So you can use these processor. Okay, so another processor examples, if I say publish Kafka. So publish Kafka processor. Okay, publish Kafka processor is publishing messages. Okay, publishing messages on Kafka topic. So definitely you need to specify your Kafka topic name, right? Kafka topic name is needed, right? Where you want to publish your messages. So you will be specifying. One is a consume Kafka processor. Okay, consume Kafka processor. So this processor is consuming messages from the Kafka topic. So we're consuming messages from Kafka topics. Okay. So so this is also required the topic name. Okay. Some processor like you want to write the data into Hive table, like different processors are there. Whether you want to use Hadoop ecosystem component, so you can write the processors. Okay. So so when you are going to the nifi, so you will see there are the various key components are there. Like processor group is basically, process group is a collection of the processors in a one group, right? So all processor which are related to each other, you can make it a one group, right? Okay, so then it's a process group. Flow is like you can define the data transfer, right, between the processor, and one is a flow file. So flow file is basically which represent a single object of data picked from the source. So it is generating the flow file is basically all the list of all the entire like your pipeline flow is there. Okay. Event is represent the change in the flow file while traversing through the nifi flow. Okay, so that is called event. Okay. And one is the data province is a repository where your this nifi flows are stored. Okay, so if I say I'm having a three different nifi pipelines, okay, I have a different flows are there, and those flow files will be stored in the repository. So its own repository is there. Okay, so that is used. Okay, so some advantage, disadvantage, like, but mostly like advantage is like we can generate the pipeline quickly, right? So suppose I don't need to write like some configuration code. I don't need to, right? Suppose if I'm reading a file from the Hadoop file system, so I don't need to use any Hadoop Java API or Hadoop Python API. I don't need to use. Okay, so these pipelines are helpful. But suppose if I'm saying my Spark is consuming data, if my Spark is consuming data, so Spark consumer data code you will write. But whenever the data is arrived on the Kafka topic by publish Kafka processor, then your Spark consumer will automatically read the data. Okay. So you need to decide like what are the component is needed on the nifi flow. Okay. So what is the user interface, right? So user interface is where you will be defining the everything is on the canvas right here. So on the top, you will see there is a processor icon is there. One is the processor group, and nifi has the template option also there. What is template, right? Like you have created one nifi flow, and you can save as a xml file, and you can give it to someone. He can get the same flow, same nifi flow, he can get it. So it's like a template, so you can save as a template and someone can import the template. Okay, so processor, right, we can have a different list of processors are there, right? So we have aws cloud, azure, gcp. So cloud related processors also there, right? Suppose you want to write the data into s3, you want to read the data from s3. Okay, So whenever you are searching the processor, you will get the processor. If you have a Kafka, so Kafka related processor will come. Suppose you want to write the data as a CSV file. So attribute to CSV processor is there. Attribute to JSON processor is there. Okay. So if you want to read the data from the database, or you want to connect to WebSocket, right? Socket connection, right? So you can have a connect WebSocket is there, or you want to connect to some message queue, AMQP, right? Active message queue. Okay. So, and you want to read the data from the SQL databases also. So JDBC, some processors are there. Okay. So there are so many list of processors are there. And this is all like different other options are there. So funnel is there, like used to transfer the output of processor to multiple processor. So that is like one to many kind of option is there, right? So that is called by funnel. Template is, I already told you, template is a reusable, right? You can reuse your nifi flow to another canvas you can use as it is. Okay, you don't need to create from the scratch again. Okay, or labeling you can do, right? You can define the label, right? So labeling you can do by adding a text, okay, on the nifi flow. Okay, so processor like categorization is there. So there are the different category of the processors are there, like, okay, data ingestion processor is there. So get file processor is there, put file processor. So these are the ingestion related processor. Get FTP. Suppose you want to get the data from the FTP, okay, and get publish Kafka is there. Get HTTP. Suppose some HTTP URL you want to get. So HTTP invoker. So some processor which is reading data from the file, some are reading from FTP location, some are reading from HTTP endpoint. So you can or get the data from the Kafka. So these are the ingestion processor. Some processors are routing processor, right? Routing processor is right. You are like based on the condition you want to route your message, your flow, right? So there is different types of processors are there. Database access processor, when you want to read the data from the SQL database, so execute SQL is there, put SQL is there. So these are the database DB related. Attribute extraction, suppose you want to read a CSV file, JSON file, right? So evaluate a JSON path, right? So these are the processor which is, so every processor needs some input, right? Okay, based on the input, it will be doing the processing, right? Okay, system interaction processor is there. Okay, data transformation processor is there. Sending data like put email is there, sending email, put Kafka, put SFTP, put file. So these are the outgoing process, okay, which is, and splitting and aggregation. Suppose you want to split the JSON data, text file data, XML data, so you can splitting you can do. So you don't need to write code manually. So this processor will helping you to whatever your desired functionality you want, you can use a specific processor. Okay, and some processor like HTTP invoker processor, like you want to read some HTTP REST API service, or you want to listen some HTTP port, so you can have. And some cloud related processor, those are specific categories there. So all the AWS cloud services categories are there, like you want to get the message from the SQS simple queue service. It is a queue service in the AWS, simple notification service, S3 object. You want to write something in S3, you want to get something from the S3. So these are the AWS processor, same like a GCP processor and Azure processor, right? So different clouds processors also there. Okay. So processor, we have to define the relationship, right? Like basically whenever we are dragging the processor, so we have to tell our failure or success relationship. So sometimes if failure happen, so what need to be done and what, so if your flow will be ended. If your success is done, then you will be connecting to the another component, right? So we can define the failure or success relationship. Okay, so like one put file is there, and I want to say like if success is done, so I want to do some other component we can connect, or if something is, so I want to do something. So based on the success or failures, I can redirect. Okay, or I can call some messages or some not found message or permission denied. So whatever is type of error message, we can redirect it. Okay, so that kind of things we can do. Okay, so if I want to install the nifi, so nifi download you go. nifi 2 is okay. So better to go this 1.25 or 1.24. Okay, 1.24. This binaries you take it, right? There are the different binaries in the binaries, but take it. Why they given so many? I think this one you can go binary. So this binary you download. First of all, you have to download the binary and you have to go to the bin directory and start the batch file, server file. You have to shell script file. You have to start. Okay, let me. Okay. So once you download the knife file, right? So you will be getting like mine is little bit older. So you will see here the knife I having a bin directory. So here is you start nifi.sh we have to start. Okay, so open terminal. Okay, we can check the port, what port I have configured. So I go back, here the conf folder is there. There is a nifi.property. So this nifi property, so first you will download and you will extract it. And nifi property, you will go here, you will check the properties. So here I given the 8085 port. Okay. So in your case, maybe it will be 8080. Okay. So if you find some conflict with your port, then you can change the port and restart the nifi. Okay. And when you go here 8085, you have to start nifi. It will take a little bit time. What is this? So you can check the log also. So if you go to your logs folder, so you can check here the updated log, nifi app log. So this log will be if any issue or error is there, so you can track the log. Uh, both nifi, port specify, web HTTP or HTTP invalid port configuration. So here nifi property. HTTP we don't give. So we have to. It is not even started, but we can again restart. Okay. So far, it's not any error message. We it is giving error, right? What is this error? Remote input HTTP is enabled, but nifi. Actually, I have enabled some property. So this property is enabled. Nifi remote. Okay, secure one is enabled. Okay. So you got it right. So this configuration you remember, okay, because you just verify first your by default now whenever you download. Okay, let me show you what is the latest downloaded version. Okay, so if I go here, this is my the okay, I have cut copy. So there is nifi zip. Yeah. So this nifi zip, I extract this one. So I show you what comes by default. Okay. So you can check those settings. And so if I go to conf and here we check nifi property. So nifi property, this is the original one. So if you see here, this is coming, right? 127.8.4.4.3. This is HTTPS coming, but host is by default, if it is not given means it is taking 8080. Okay, so try with this one. If you get the error, so what you can do, you can remove this property false, make it this false, and remove this HTTPS properties. Okay, because it's a HTTPS property is given 8443 because you don't want the admin thing, right? So we don't want to enable that. So you can disable the port. Okay, so you can disable this HTTPS port. These two you can give it. Okay. Okay, so once you get this is your canvas. Okay, so very simple, right? Like you want a processor, you drag the processor, and here is a suppose I'm showing you get file processor. So get file, just click on this. So get file processor is there. Another processor, you drag it, and that you say put file processor. Okay, because when you are getting the file, so definitely you want to write the file. Okay, so now you have to make a linking between these two. You can keep it like just 1 hour when one is down. And here you have to just double click and get configure. So here you go. So here is the property is input directory. So suppose I say I want to transfer the file from my some input file location. So input dir. So in this input dir, I keep it suppose to file. Okay. And this input directory path, I will give, okay, I will give properties. So this input directory path, it is in the home. Home slash home slash input dir. Okay. And one more directory I will create, output directory. Okay. So output directory path I create here. One more new folder, output dir. So this, so I will give this path to my another process. So here you have to set this relationship also. Okay. Retry we don't do. Terminate, right? Okay. And this if you see this triangle mark means some property is missing. Here is no property missing. You set the all property, only connection is pending. Okay. Here is put file, it is these properties are missing. If you see directory is invalid, relationship is not there, and upstream connection is not there. So if I want to make an upstream connection, So just add the connection. So now you will see that is gone. Now the directory is invalid and relationship success and failure is not there. Okay, because this is the end of the pipeline, right? So we have to define the success, terminate, or failure. Okay, and the property we have to give the directory path. So directory path is, okay, my directory path is input dir and output dir. Output dir. So this is my output directory path. So I set it this path and I apply. So my nifi pipeline is ready, right? Now I have to start the flow. Okay. So I have to start flow. I will check once because my files are there. Okay. My files are there, but output directory, there is no file, right? So now I will be start the flow. I will start here. So you will see the file will start moving here, like Q is 2. And if you check here, my file is moved because it gone to the buffer. Okay, from input directory the file is, but still output directory doesn't have my file. Its output directory doesn't have my file because I have not started my target. So this flow, once you start, it will keep running. Okay, now your files will be coming in the output directory. Can you see output directory? If I copy anything in the input directory now, I say this file, I copy. Okay, from here I cannot copy. So I copy another file. I'm copying here. The file is gone and it is coming in the output directory. So who is doing this? nifi is doing this. Okay. So nifi is defining this processor. So this is very simple one I showed you. Suppose I want to do, and if you want to create a template for this, right? Suppose you want to create a template, so we can create template. So suppose I want to do some publish Kafka. So publish. So publish Kafka, suppose if in the same flow I want to add here one publish Kafka. Okay. So I'm reading the file and then I will have a one publish Kafka processor because I'm getting the data from the file and I will be publishing on the publish Kafka. So publish Kafka 2.0, publish Kafka, this one we have to do. Publish Kafka 2.6. So latest Kafka version is a 2.6 version. So this one is publish Kafka. So publish Kafka, suppose I want to read the data from some file. Okay, so input data will come. Now I will set the property of this. So I have to give the topic, right? So I will say my topic is some test event topic. Okay, I have to create topic. Okay, so test event topic I given localhost this one, and there is this guaranteed replica. Okay, it is already selected. Okay, and other settings I have to check. Okay, relationship. So terminate, and so these are the settings I have to do. Check. Okay, so now I will start my flow. So see, this flow is keep running, right? So it is already in the queue, but this one is stop because if I start, it will fail, right? Because Kafka topic, it will not find, right? So I should have the Kafka topic. I should have Kafka topic, which should be, so even if I don't want this message, I can delete also. So here is I can make it empty queue. So empty queue I can, okay. So now I will have the Kafka topic, those things I have to create. Okay. So I will, but Kafka server should be running. Otherwise, Kafka topic will not be able to receive the messages. So it is this nifi processor is pushing the message to the Kafka topic. It is uh, other things Kafka should be keep running. Okay. Kafka should be keep running. Okay, so zookeeper. Oh, this zookeeper is zookeeper. We have to kill the zookeeper service. Okay, my zookeeper started. Next, I will start the Kafka server. And I will create test. And so what is the topic name I given? Same topic I will create. So oh, but zookeeper port is, okay. So here, test hyphen event. So test hyphen event is my Kafka topic. Okay. So I want to if I start this one, so it will start reading data. So I can check with the consumer. So I can check with the, I will not do the producer. There is a console consumer. So console consumer I will give, and I will give the test underscore. See, this is the message. This is the Linux command, all those things are coming. This is coming, right? So, so our nifi is publishing message to the Kafka and we are able to receive, right? You can see here the read and write bytes, okay? And if you want to get the data from the published Kafka, you can write a one consume Kafka. So you don't need to connect with the publish Kafka, just separately consume Kafka will read the data from the topic and can write the file. So consume Kafka 2.6, right? So you can add one consume Kafka and you can use put file processor. Okay. So you can, so here you can link, and here consume Kafka, you have to give the topic name. So test hyphen event. Group ID, some group ID you gave. Group. So group ID is basically for the multiple consumer can be reading in the same group consumer group I group consumer group can read data parallelly. So put file is writing data to output some directory. We have to provide the directory location. So slash okay, so here we have to set the relationship. Okay, so if I start this one, it will start consuming from the same topic, whatever topic you are writing, and then it will write the file. So data is flowing. You can check. See, this is creating. Okay, it's keep running. What is doing? Now it is stopped. Why it is doing so many times? Here is but here is file is coming only this. Okay, maybe Kafka it is publishing multiple times. If I check through. Oh, here is coming the messages. To publish Kafka is a problem. This is now is the queue is stopped. Okay, so did you understand right this? So if you have suppose data in your published Kafka, then you can have a Spark consumer is running, which is reading data from the topic. So your nifi role is to just deliver the messages to the Kafka topic. Okay, but a Spark part will be separate. So Spark is reading data from the Kafka topic. So whenever data comes at the topic, okay, so Spark will start reading the consuming the message. Spark will consuming message. Okay. Okay. So this recording I will share and try it. Download the nifi and just do practice. And if you want to create a template, so template option is here. Create template. Suppose I say my temp, and I want to create this create template. So I can download the template also. So there is a list of template. This is upload template, and this is we have created template. And like if you have any template, you can add the template. Okay. So here is you can check all the list of template. So we just now we created template. So here is the download option. when you click on this, one XML file is created. So this XML file, anybody is right drag it, like upload it right here in the canvas. So if I'm going to do in the same canvas again, if I upload here, right, upload template. So if I select the template, download my pen. See, this is my template. So when you click on upload, it is already adjust, right? So if you have blank canvas, then you can upload it. So as it is, your this entire configuration will come. So just you need to change accordingly. You want to change the topic and you want to change other information, you can change it. Okay. So that is the purpose of the template. Label is like you can define some label. Even this entire flow you can move into this label. Label is just simply label. Actually, one more is like na process group is there. Okay, there we can create a separate group of processors. We can entire group of processors, we can keep it in a one process group. Okay, so then process group, this process group. So you can create a some group and you can so be entered in this process group. I think this one we are inside this process group. Okay, you try this one. Okay. And tomorrow I will show the other things in this. Okay. Thank you.